Hello guys, thank God it's Friday. The bookman is here again. This is the Bookman Show by Olonye Andrew Obaka. That's my name for those who don't know me. In the morning, I presented from Anderson Books, National Values, the civic education part. Today, we are talking about accidents. So today we'll continue from Anderson National Civic Education for Senior Secondary Schools. It is still accident related. Okay, we're looking at traffic rules and regulations. What are traffic rules and regulations? Leave it. They are the rules and regulations put in place to ensure safety on our roads. Traffic rules and regulations, those are the laws, the rules that are made to ensure safety on our roads. This is episode 22 of the Bookman Show on Anderson Books Educational Television. I'm your guy, the Bookman. Okay, I've already introduced myself. Please don't mind me. I'm a teacher, and teachers like repeating to be sure that as you have absorbed it. Okay, these are the traffic rules and regulations. Number one, in fact, the first one is obey the rule themselves. Obey the traffic signs. You know, we all know it. Green light, red light, and amber. Amber is, red light is to stop. Amber is ready to move. Green is go. The other way, green is go. Amber is get set to stop. And red is stop. So you must obey them because you don't know who is coming from the other side. Obey traffic rules and regulations. So please, if you're a student, you listen, note it down. If you're a parent or guardian, you note it down so that when your child comes, you show him. And as I said, this series, I'm not trying to replace the school or your lesson teacher at home. I'm trying to bring a new dimension to it. So, because learning can be fun. So, before I forget my thought, I've said one, obey traffic rules and regulations. Then, fasten your seat belt. Very important. You fasten your seat belt. I know of a guy, a friend, he was in Benin that time. He said that it was the seat belt that saved him. You know, the car kind of hit another car, and it was seat belt that stopped his head from hitting the glass. So the Yibos that put it there know what they're doing. Before I forget, number one, obey the rules. Number two, fasten your seat belt. Number three, don't overspeed. Yes, this is the major cause of accidents. Yes, the most important cause rather. Because even where other factors are involved, maybe accident due to tire burst or whatever, the level of speed will affect the seriousness of the accident. Yes, level of speed. So, traffic rules and regulation, don't overspeed, you know, fasten your seat belt, number three. Then also, let me have a phone. You are driving. Hello, how are you? This and that. Never try it. You park the way I just parked now. Take your car. That car can wait, no matter the urgency of it. When you are taking a car and driving because of in a hurry, when you not hit somebody or road safety arrest you, is that way you not have the time to do what you're going to do. So just be a little bit patient. Somebody is calling, you park by the side. Please, I'll call you back. I'm driving. Continue your journey. The whole process, give or take 1 minute. Sorry, sir, I'm driving. I'll call you back. That is all. Then, dangerous overtaking. Yes, don't overtake dangerously. You want to do just bond. No. Life has no duplicate. So you are driving, don't overtake dangerously. There are many ways, procedures for overtaking. Don't overtake the person from the right. It's from the left hand of the person. I have to look well before you overtake. That's why the glasses are there, so they see who is coming and know whether it's safe to overtake or not overtake. Very important. This one, I cannot emphasize it enough. Do not drink and drive. It's very dangerous. Of course, the reasons are obvious. When you drink, you just be firing anyhow. So don't drink, don't take hold. They call it DUI, driving under the influence. Whether Kai, whether Igbo, or whatever. Please do not do it. Then, don't overload. Very important. Don't overload. You see a car that is meant to carry maybe 4 people plus the driver, 1 in here, 3 at the back. But Abuja drivers, I also believe, other drivers across Nigerian cities, they will carry 2 in the front and carry 4 at the back. Some also carry excess load. It's not good. Every vehicle has a capacity that you can carry. By the time you overlook that capacity, definitely there's a challenge. Then I think these are the main points. Let me see if I can recap. I'm doing what Yoruba scholar will way, and how they look book. So out of the 4 or 5, if I miss out one, I don't try. But I think I'll get all of them. Number 1, obey the traffic rules and regulations. You must obey the rules and regulations that are set for safety of the road. Then number 2, we should not overspeed. There are speed limits. Then you should not drink and drive. Then don't use a telephone while driving. And I think I mentioned, I don't know whether I mentioned it, even if I mentioned it, take Jara, I said don't use a seat belt so that if accident happens, nobody prays for it, but you have to prepare. If accidents happen, the seat belt will stop you from hitting your head on the glass. So these are the safety precautions. Whatever you do, stay safe. I'm very passionate and emotional about this. Maybe because that's what killed my father. So accident, the thing I take it as a kind of serious matter. You tell your parents or wife or children or brothers, bye-bye, not knowing that is the last bye-bye in your life. So please, we all die. But let's pray to die on our bed. Okay, I haven't listed the traffic rules and regulations. Let me quickly list, because I want to keep this video under 10 seconds so that it will not be too heavy. Let me list the causes of accident, which is also the same thing as the rules. So just turn it aside. Number 1, people that use phone to drive. So essentially it's like reversing what I just said, how to prevent accidents. So by not doing these things, people should not drive and drink, or drink and drive. Again, when you do that, you can have accident. Then bad vehicle, when you use lucrative vehicle. My tire is bad, this and that, let me manage it. We understand because of poverty. To get a good tire, 25,000 naira. Some salary in a month is 30k or 50 at most. To buy one tire, new one, 25k. So I'm not justifying it, but these are the challenges people are facing. Lucrative vehicle, drinking and driving, and also use of phone, which I've also mentioned, and overloading. And when you overload their vehicle, and also disobedience of traffic rules. This is T junction now. Maybe it's showing red here, it's showing green there. The other person thinks that the road is clear, but the person that despite the red, somebody now moves, and the other person with the other side now move, thinking it was green. Before you know it happened to me in the junction behind us here, just the junction before here, World Trade Center. I was coming this way, the other guy, so God has saved me. So that's all by the way. So whatever you do, obey the traffic rules and regulations. If you drink, I will not say don't drink if that's your choice, if you're an adult, but don't drink when you are driving. If you go house, drink your beer, whatever, and lie down, nobody will come and disturb you. Don't be a nuisance. Also, try and check your tires. And the way you are driving, don't use your telephone. Put on your seat belt. In fact, in the morning, as you enter your car, you check everything. And finally, of course, there are the road users, not only car, bicycle, motorcycle. So if you're a pedestrian, as a usual leg, you try and look before you cross. Ideally, you must use the overhead bridge. But I don't know, sometimes the next overhead bridge can be kilometers apart. You have to trek like almost whatever before you get to the next one. But all the same, whatever price you can pay, despite the inconvenience, to stay alive and avoid accident, do it. So thank you very much for listening. Once again, I don't come again. No. Please go to YouTube. Hello guys, good evening and welcome to the Bookman Show. I trust all of you are fine. Yes, I'm fine too. My name is Obako Andrew. I present the Bookman Show on Anderson Educational Television. It's a branch of the media arm of Anderson Books Educational Foundation. Today, we are taking a topic from civic education for senior secondary schools. Our topic for today is HIV/AIDS. Yes, we look at what it is, look at the origins, look at the causes, look at the symptoms, and look at the preventive measure. Quite a lot. I will take it one at a time. Where we stop in this episode, next episode will continue. HIV, as we all know, stands for Human Immunodeficiency Virus. Some call it Human Immune Deficiency Virus. In brief, the human body has defenses. You know, just like you have soldiers defending a place, you have footballers, those who call defenders, trying to stop attackers from scoring goals. So also the human beings have immune system that defends them against sicknesses. That is why if not, malaria will kill everybody. Cholera will kill everybody. Every sickness, now just die like that. People still die, but the immune system does its best to defend us against sicknesses. So HIV is a virus that attacks this immune system. So look at it this way. There's a football match and you have like 4 defenders. You now say, okay, 2 of the defenders go. The other 2, they are injured. In that case, put somebody like, not even Messi or Ronaldo, even me, can score 100 goals. Why? Because defenders are gone, no defenders, or the defense is weak. So when the HIV weakens the immune system, to the extent of the person coming down, it becomes AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. So HIV is the virus that leads to AIDS, if it's not well taken care of, well attended to. Now, what is the origin of HIV/AIDS? There's controversy here. Some people argue that HIV came from chimpanzees in Africa. No, it's normally white people, you know, Oyibos that argue that it is chimpanzees in Congo and other places in Africa that transmitted HIV to human beings and spread across the world. While some people believe that homosexuals, people who engage in same-sex activity in San Francisco, USA, and other communities were the ones that spread the AIDS, HIV virus. Well, there's controversy as per where HIV comes from. There's also controversy, a lot of controversy about when HIV began. Nobody knew, actually. Some people traced it to the 60s and all that. We cannot pinpoint a particular year that HIV began. But what I can say is that it was given a name in 1982. That was when 2 scientists, I think one was a medical doctor, the other one a biologist, Montaigne of France and Robert Gallo of USA. You know, if you're a student, this question can come out. Who discovered HIV? I know to discover means to find something that's already there. So Montaigne and Gallo were the people that gave it a name, discovered the virus, 1982. And the World AIDS Day is December 1st every year. That is the year of remembrance of people that fortunately died of the virus. Now, enough of the background history of HIV. What are the symptoms? Okay, let's be careful here. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm an academic doctor. So these symptoms I'm going to mention does not mean that once you have it, you have HIV. No. These are the underlying causes of, symptoms of HIV. Number one, weight loss. Those days, you see their picture like skeleton. Person who have a weight loss. Number two, diarrhea. Always going to the toilet. Number three, you have rashes. Rashes over your body and fever. But let me repeat, somebody who does not have HIV can have all these things: diarrhea, fever, rashes. So the best way to know who has HIV is to test. Very important. Go and test the person to know whether they have HIV or not. Okay. Now, let's look at the causes of HIV. There are plenty. But let me look at the ones I can remember. Number one, having unprotected sex. That's the commonest cause. When you have sex with somebody who probably has had sex with another person, network sex, it can open you up. And if you are not having protection and you are not married to the person, you are risking your life. That's unprotected sex. Also, having multiple sex partners. If you are a jumpologist, bedmatic jumpologist, bed to bed, it can open you up to HIV. I talk about having sex without protection. Even if you're having it with only one person, you don't know who that person has been with. And number two, having multiple partners. Then, number three, use of unsterilized needle and sharp objects like needle, clipper, and all that. When you use them and they are not sterilized, it can open somebody up to HIV. And another one again too is mother to child transmission. Some mothers can transmit it to their children, pregnant mothers. I don't know about breastfeeding, but when a woman carries a child in the tummy and has HIV, there's a high likelihood of her giving it to the child. Then again, transmission, the transfusion of untested blood. Sometimes you take blood from somebody, you take blood from a donor and inject on somebody, and it's not tested. Somebody can get HIV through that. So, to continue, what are the preventive measures against HIV? What do we need to know or to do to avoid getting HIV? Number one, avoid unprotected sex. If you are an adult, married or unmarried, that have decided to have sex, protection is very important. Well, if you are trying to conceive, to have a child, probably if the person is married to you, but generally, for casual sex, protection, protect yourself. Wear a raincoat. Then also, normally, needles and clippers should not be used on more than one person. But if there's emergency and it has to be reused, it must be sterilized, so that any virus there will be killed. But the best to use one needle per person or one clipper per person if possible. Then also testing. Because if you don't know that you have it, you can continue engaging in reckless behavior and be distributing the virus through network sex. Again, there are also medications, antiretroviral drug, that a pregnant woman, if he takes it, there is a possibility that it will not give it to the child. Yes. is called antiretroviral therapy. And again, try and keep one man at a time or one woman at a time, because network sex can cause HIV and other sicknesses. So, let me see if I can recap what I've said now. I've described HIV as human immunodeficiency virus. It causes, if not well treated, it can transit to acquired immune deficiency virus. Okay, let me, okay, should I stop here? Okay, let me continue. Okay, I will stop. Yes, you know, go flog me, I will stop. But anyway, go to, please, I beg this time around. Don't mind my bad mouth. Go to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please, Anderson Educational Television. You will see me there. Anderson Edu TV. By the time you go there and subscribe, you are doing me a favor. Subscribe, you share, and you like. And all of my my platform, the BookmanShow. So bye-bye. I love you all. Hello guys, good evening. I trust you are all fine. The way I am fine also. Today we'll continue our series from Anderson Books Civic Education for Senior Secondary Schools. In the last episode, we talked about HIV and the causes and all that. So today, we're looking at public service, the challenges of public service, and the meaning of public service. So, the public service, by definition, is a collective name for all government workers, those that work in ministries, agencies, and all government institutions. Public service is a collective name of all the workers, for all the workers that work in the government-owned institutions and ministries. There's a slight difference between public servant and civil servant. We normally use civil servants for people that work in ministries, like Minister of Agriculture, or Finance, of Industry, and all that. Then public servants, we use them for people that work in a government, like we are working, CAC, and others. But anyway, just say public servant for everybody, covers everybody, instead of discriminating in definition. Okay, what are the problems of public service? Of course, the problems of public service are also the problems of civil service or civil servants. They're related. Number one, corruption. Corruption. You know, sir, I told you, it happens there. Some call it chop and clean out or kill and divide. You know, of course, I don't need to tell you what corruption is. Let me just give one example. Somebody comes, Oga, okay, the money for this purchase or repair is 1 million naira. The man says, okay, just try 2 million. You know what to do. I won't say more. Don't ask me where the other 1 million goes to. So, corruption. But if you're a student, all this is my story. You don't need to tell them. I'm trying to make it lively and make it register in your consciousness. When you hear my stories, when you remember my stories, you're able to remember some point. Just say corruption, which is the abuse of office for private gain. Simple. It mustn't be money. Corruption is the abuse of office for private gain. It can include money, even sexual whatever. You know what I'm saying? You tell a lady, okay, want a job, okay, come and see me in that hotel. All those things, corruption. So it mustn't be money, but money is part of it. Whatever you do to abuse your office for private gain, for selfish gain, is called corruption, and it happens in the public service. Number two, nepotism. Man, no man. Okay, this man is from my village. The other man is not from my village. This man is not that qualified, but because it's my own person, I will do this for him, do this for him. That is what? Nepotism. Before I forget, as I always say, I don't look at books. I do like Wowe, according to Yorubas. So, I mentioned corruption. I mentioned nepotism. Another thing again is political interference. Yes, that one is very common. As civil servants, you are supposed to be independent, do your work, no look face. But is that the reality? Don't look for my mouth by asking me, make I explain. I only know that government interferes, political interference in the public service. If you are the head of an agency or a minister, and the president that can remove you, that appointed you, says, do this. This project you are taking to so town, take it to this town. You say, yes, sir, Your Excellency. If not, you even hear you are remover on radio. So, political interference. Okay, put these stories aside. Just say that the politicians, those holding political power, interferes with the operations of civil service. You know, as I said, all the jara I add just to make it lively and make you remember, this man said this and that, okay, pick this and pick that. That's my teaching method. Okay, I've mentioned corruption, I've mentioned nepotism, I've mentioned government interference. Okay, another one is inconsistency in government policy. Yes, it happens a lot. One government will come and say this. Later, the same government may come and say, another government may come and say different thing. Or even the same government, maybe change of ministers, will come and say different thing. Let me give you an example. I submitted my books for review in one state. The book was approved. Then they changed commissioner for education. The commissioner came and just like that, so okay, another review should be done. So that is inconsistency in government policies. And that is not good. So you can say in exam or assignment, inconsistency in government policy. That sometimes governments, when government take over from other government, they change policies. Even some governments change their own policy. When the appointment is done, a commissioner or a minister will come and change government policy. It affects civil service. It can confuse them, civil servants. Once you say this 2 or 3 lines, I believe the examiner will give you your mark. Okay. Another one too is what they call red tape, as in red, color red. Red tape. Yes. I once applied for a loan in a particular government ministry office. It took me like almost 4 years. Yes. 4 years to get it. So you can imagine, if somebody dies now, I want to borrow money from there to take care of the person or emergency. So red tape, they call it bureaucracy, delays. In the exam, just say red tape refers to administrative delays, procedures that cause delays. Do this, sign this, take it to Mr. A, Mr. B will sign, take to Mr. B, Mr. C will sign, take to Mr. E. Rafa will go around. I understand that there may be need to do this and follow procedure in civil service. But when it becomes too long, it can cause a problem. And also, poor motivation. Yes, civil servants, their pay is not okay. I must tell you, their salaries are not okay. You know, I'm not even sure that a director in the ministry collects up to 500,000. I don't know. I'm not sure. And for you to be a director, that is many years. Promotion comes every 3 years, sometimes every 4 years, sometimes 5-6 years will be in one level. So for you to get to the peak and still receive less than 1 million naira in a month, in this economy. And by the time you're director, you must be in your 50s or so, or late 40s. So you cannot imagine those people under, fresh graduates, that are just starting work, and compare the cost of living, accommodation and all that. So the pay for civil servant, public service, is poor. And also incompetence. You know, some people will say, instead of staying at home, any work I have, I will do. Government work, I do. The person may not be competent for that job. That may not be his passion. But he does. He takes it because of half or do. They say half or do. Now make white man drink garri. So that's just it. That incompetence, that people enter the public service without the required qualification. They are by leading to incompetence. Just say that one. Forget about white man drinking garri. So that's just by the way. So these are the problems of civil service. Quickly, my video is almost 10 minutes, but let me quickly add the solutions to public service, the problems of public service. Number one, training. Yes, training. The civil servants need to be trained in both private and public training institutions to update their skills. Once you say that, the examiner will mark your exam, or mark you. Then number two, let me see, improve staff welfare. Yes, improve staff welfare. That is it. It could be in terms of pay and other schemes like housing, which, well, I would say government is trying in that area. Just that the scale of the problem, you know, the size of the problem makes it appear as if government is not doing anything. So welfare packages such as housing, improved salary, and medical will make people to be motivated, you know. And again too, there need to be political education, civic education, and all that, right from the most junior level, children, start teaching them, you know, political education and all that, and also political stability. When there's political stability, there will be less policy inconsistency. That is it. The government will say this and mean that. You can say, okay, this is a government plan for the next 4 or 5 years, and it's going to be like that. Not government comes like this, another government will come, and before you know it, people will be confused. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed the lecture. And by now, you are getting used to my cracking bedroom voice. Bye-bye. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Bookman Show. It's already 12 o'clock, so let me say good morning and welcome to the Bookman Show. My name is Obakolo Andrew, and I present the Bookman Show on Anderson Books Educational Television. Today, I'm bringing a topic from security education, you know, in national values. That is primary 3. You know, this is 3 in 1 book. So I'm bringing a topic on security agencies in Nigeria. You know, we have there plenty. So I will just mention as many as I can in this episode. The ones I cannot mention, I cannot finish in this episode. I will continue in the next episode. Meanwhile, I wish to thank you so far for your attention. I know it's not easy. We have a lot of things that take your attention. Television, newspaper, books, Facebook, and all that. So for you to spend some time with me, I appreciate you. We look at security agencies in Nigeria and their functions. There are so many. But I will address as many as I can. Number one, you have let me start with the police. Yes, the police is the principal law enforcement agency in Nigeria. We have others, but when it comes to, you know, protecting the civilians within the society, it is the police. And you can say that the police, in terms of definition, that the police is the primary agency protecting civilians in Nigeria, maintaining law and order. So, what are the functions of the police? There are many. The police, they investigate crime. You know, when there's a theft here, maybe somebody steal my phone. I go to police. Police ask me some questions to try and investigate. So, investigate crime. Number one. Number two, they apprehend culprits. If with the information you gave them, that look, oh, police are looking for my phone, they said, okay, we'll go help you look for it. So maybe they're able to track it and find out who did it. That means they can apprehend the person. Then number three, they prosecute offenders. Yes, they work together with the Minister of Justice to prosecute offenders, take you to court. Even if they catch you with this book, you know, you had book here, and police catches you, this is the book. They will still say, take you to court. Court will say, are you guilty or not guilty? That's the law. So, they investigate crime, they apprehend the offenders. And another one again is that the police, they maintain like public, when there's a public gathering, police goes here to maintain the peace, promoting law and order. So these are the functions of the police. They investigate crime, they apprehend the suspects, they maintain law and order, they also prosecute suspects. Okay, let's look at the army. Now we have the armed forces. The armed forces, you know, is a collective name for the Army, Navy, and Air Force. Okay, let's look at the Army. Though their functions are related, the Army, they are the ones they fight on land. Though Army has air wings and all that, but their principal responsibility is to fight on land. That is the Army, what the Army does. So, what are the responsibilities? The army, they protect. The army, they protect the country against external and internal aggression. The army protect the country against external and internal aggression. External aggression means attack from outside the country. Let's say Cameroon attacks Nigeria. Our soldiers will go there and flush them out. Then, internal aggression is attack from within, like Boko Haram. You know, armed robbery, kidnapping is actually for the police, but when it becomes too much, the army can come in. So, they protect us against internal and external aggression. And they also support other security agencies in maintaining law and order. Where there's riot and it's beyond the power of the police, the army can come in. And they also can also assist in a search and rescue operation. That may not be their core duty, but a policeman or a military man cannot be in a place, there's a disaster, and they say, no, it's not our duty. No, they are there to also help out in emergency situations. And again, they protect territorial integrity of Nigeria to make sure that our borders are secure. Yes, that's what the army does. So I said that they protect us against internal aggression. They assist in rescue operations. They assist the other forces, police and others, to maintain order. And they protect our territorial integrity. That one sounds like big grammar. It's not too much grammar. It's the same thing. Integrity means that our border don't cross our territory. That is what the army does. So let's quickly talk about the Navy. Well, the Navy, just like the army, just that they concentrate on water. You know, they protect our territorial waters against attack. They also fight against pirates. Pirates are just sea robbers, people that rob in the sea. And they also fight against oil bunkering, people that steal oil and go and sell outside. They can also assist in rescue operation. Yes, if there's a shipwreck, the police, the navy can go and also assist, and that is it. So they work hand in hand with armed forces. As I said, actually the same armed forces. They have similar functions. Just that the area they operate, one is on land, that's the army, navy, and sea. Then the next one is air force. They operate on the air. They help to defend Nigeria's air boundary. And they can also assist in rescue operation and supply relief material. During the corona crisis, the armed forces, no, the air force was used to supply, excuse me, the air force was used to supply relief materials, vaccines, food, and all that. So they assist sister security agencies like Boko Haram now. As the army is bombing them on the ground, the air force, as the army is fighting them on the ground, the air force is dropping bomb to degrade them so that the army can enter and technically degrade them, as the government used to say. So generally, the armed forces refer to the army, navy, and air force. And their job, as you can see, they are related to protect the country against attack, both internal and external attack, protect our boundaries. The army protect our land boundary, the navy our water boundary, our territorial waters, and the air force our air boundaries, and they provide air support to the other agencies. They also help out in relief material. When there is a disaster, they can go and help out. So these are all about our security agencies. Though there are others, you have the prison, you have the immigration, you have the civil defense. There are many. So next episode, we will go into the other security agencies in Nigeria. So thank you very much. And